Pittsburgh Trivia is a production of Warrior House Media.
Welcome to Pittsburgh Trivia with your host, Jim Cannon, where uncovering the crazy truth and trivia about Pittsburgh is just the beginning. And who knows, you may even learn a few things in the process. We know life can get pretty interesting around Pittsburgh. Speaking of interesting, did you know that?
Hi, and welcome to Pittsburgh Trivia, an interactive show that will test your knowledge of all things Pittsburgh and the surrounding region. I'm your host, Jim Cannon. Thanks for joining me. Before we get started, please note our website, pittsburghtriviapodcast.com, where you can go to find the latest episode. And you can also subscribe to be notified when those episodes are posted. The show is absolutely free. So here's how Pittsburgh Trivia works. There are 3 rounds. The first round consists of 5 random questions, most of them pretty easy. The second round is another 5 questions, though slightly more challenging material. And the final round is just one much tougher bonus question. That's a grand total of 11 questions in all. For each round, I will read the question and give a 5-second pause before going on to the next one. At the end of each round, I'll repeat each question before revealing the answers, along with some supplemental information. See, you can have fun and learn some things too. So those are the rules. If you're ready, let's get started. Round 1, question 1. Located on 7th Avenue in Pittsburgh, Samuel Keir established this, the first successful one in the Western Hemisphere. Question 2. Kennywood Park is the place to go if you love roller coasters and other rides, and, well, just having fun. With all that excitement, you can really build an appetite. What is this alliterative, well-known fried food destination that sits in the middle of the park? Question 3. Known for her roles in The Firm, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and Raising Arizona, among the dozens of movies in her career, this actress graduated from Carnegie Mellon's drama program in 1980. Question 4. At the Forbes Avenue entrance to the Carnegie Museum, you'll see 4 sculpted figures that represent literature, music, art, and science. Name 2 of the 4 figures. Question 5. While Pittsburgh has long billed itself as the city of bridges, along with claiming more bridges than any other city, I'm sad to tell you that isn't true. What German city has 5 times as many bridges within their city limits as Pittsburgh? And that's it for the round 1 questions. Kind of a mixed bag. Should have been a good warm-up for you, so let's go check the answers to see how you did. Round 1 answers. Located on 7th Avenue in Pittsburgh, Samuel Keir established this, the first successful one in the Western Hemisphere, in 1853. And that is an oil refinery. Yep, oil was once refined downtown. Keir established the oil refinery in Pittsburgh on 7th Avenue near Grant Street. Originally, Keir had owned some salt mines, and the mines were being contaminated with oil. So they would just discard it as a nuisance byproduct, and it was actually dumped into waterways. Well, one day Keir noticed one of the oil slicks catch fire, and he had sort of an aha moment, and then he figured out how to refine crude oil into kerosene, and he started selling it to miners as carbon oil, and also created a lamp to burn the kerosene. The first shipment of oil from the Drake well up in Oil City actually went to Keir's refinery. Question 2. Kennywood Park is the place to go if you love roller coasters and other rides and just having fun. With all that excitement, you can really build up an appetite. What is this alliterative, well-known fried food destination that sits in the middle of the park? That is the Potato Patch and their famous Potato Patch fries. Now, they're not good for you, but man, they hit the spot after about 2 hours of standing in line and jumping on and off rides. Question 3. Known for her roles in The Firm, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and Raising Arizona, among the dozens of movies in her career, this actress graduated from Carnegie Mellon's drama program in 1980. That is Holly Hunter. You can check out her entire history on IMDb. And in addition to The Piano and other films I did not mention, she was also in The Incredibles and Incredibles 2. I did not know. Question 4. At the Forbes Avenue entrance to the Carnegie Museum, you'll see 4 sculpted figures that represent literature, music, art, and science. Name 2 of the 4 figures. They are Shakespeare, Bach, Michelangelo, and Galileo, and they were created in 1907. Question 5. While Pittsburgh has long billed itself as the city of bridges, I'm sad to tell you that it isn't true. What German city has 5 times as many bridges within their city limits as Pittsburgh? And that is Hamburg, Germany. It's a city surrounded by water. Pittsburgh's 446 bridges is hundreds less than New York's 789, and absolutely eclipsed by the roughly 2,300 bridges in Hamburg, a port city on the Elbe River that connects directly to the North Sea. But all that aside, there are still few cities in the U.S. that even come close to the number of bridges in Pittsburgh. So those are some good ones in there, right? A good mix for your brain? Well, we have 5 more on the way. But before we head into the second round, please remember the show goes on because of you, the listener. So if you're enjoying Pittsburgh trivia and having fun playing along, do us a favor and please consider subscribing so you'll know when a new episode is posted. The show is totally free for you, and we only use your contact info to send notifications about the show. That's it. And you can also check us out on social media. If you want the direct links, you can grab those from the website, pittsburghtriviapodcast.com. We appreciate your interest and thank you for your interaction. All right, so now it's on to round 2 with 5 more challenging trivia questions about Pittsburgh. Here we go. Round 2 questions. Question 1. Andre Previn, a pianist and composer who won several Academy Awards for his film scores, served in this role in Pittsburgh from 1976 to 1984. Question 2. Pittsburgh-born author David McCullough was awarded this prize for his book Truman. Question 3. Dr. Stanley Pearl graduated from Shenley Park High School in 1936. He is the founder of what national eye care franchise? And question 4, this 1992 mostly fictional movie about the life and ultimately death of a well-known labor union boss starred Jack Nicholson and Danny DeVito and features several Pittsburgh locations. Question 5. David L. Lawrence served 4 terms as Pittsburgh's mayor from 1946 to 1959. But his life in politics continued, and he became the only Pittsburgh mayor elected to this office. All right, that's it for round 2. That might have tested you just a bit, but we're going to see. So without hesitation, we will check the answers. Round 2 answers. Question 1, Andre Previn, a pianist and composer who won several Academy Awards for his film scores, served in this role in Pittsburgh from 1976 to 1984. The answer is, he was the conductor for the Pittsburgh Symphony. Back when Previn was a conductor, it was damn near impossible to get tickets to the symphony because he was that beloved by the cultural crowd. and Previn had a heck of a ride before he got to Pittsburgh. As mentioned, he won 4 Oscars for his work on music scores for movies. He got nominated 11 times and won 4. He had all kinds of other honors bestowed upon him, including being appointed Honorary Knight Commander of the Order of the British Empire. He officially couldn't use the title Sir because he was German, not British. And he was also married to actress Mia Farrow for almost 10 years. Previn just lived a really full life, and I encourage you to read up on his background. He passed away in 2019 at the age of 89. Question 2. Pittsburgh-born author David McCulloch was awarded this prize in 1992 for his book Truman. And that is the Pulitzer Prize. He actually scored another one in 2001 for his book John Adams. Question 3. Dr. Stanley Pearl graduated from Shenley Park High School in 1936. He is the founder of what national eye care franchise? You might remember their slogan, "Nobody cares for eyes more than Pearl." It's Pearl Vision, the eye care chain. Dr. Pearl opened his first location in Savannah, Georgia in 1961, and he actually sold the entire company in 1968. Part of his success was because he adopted technology where individual stores, could mass produce prescription lenses. So instead of having to send away for that custom lens and having to wait weeks, customers could get a new pair of glasses in a matter of days. And he also figured out how to kind of streamline glasses and dress them up so they were somewhat fashionable. Fun fact, in 1996, Dr. Pearl threw out the first pitch at a Pirates game, one of the last that Jim Leland managed. Why, you might ask? Well, because for a long time, every home run a Pirate hit, Pearl would donate a pair of glasses to a kid chosen by the Boys and Girls Club of America. Question 4, this 1992 mostly fictional movie about the life and ultimately death of a well-known labor union boss, starred Jack Nicholson and Danny DeVito and featured several Pittsburgh locations. The answer is Hoffa, named after Jimmy Hoffa, who was the head of the Teamsters and whose mysterious disappearance in 1975 remains unsolved. The Pittsburgh locations in the film included Carnegie Mellon University and some shots done in the Strip District. I actually knew someone years ago who was working as a waiter in a restaurant down in the Strip, and the cast came in for dinner one night, and this guy said that they were all really friendly and accommodating, and most importantly, fantastic tippers. Question 5, David L. Lawrence served 4 terms as Pittsburgh's mayor from 1946 to 1959, but his life and politics continued, and he became the only Pittsburgh mayor elected to this office. And the answer is, he was the only Pittsburgh mayor ever elected as governor. He was the state's 37th governor, and he served from 1959 to 1963. Oh, and he was also the first Catholic elected as governor. And how did that round go? That was kind of tough. So let's take a minute to let the brain catch up. And this is a good time to let you know, if you're having fun with the show and want to let us know, please head to the website at pittsburghtriviapodcast.com. Find that contact button and drop us a line. We're always happy to get feedback, and it can help make the show even more enjoyable. Okay, here we go with the last item on the list, the bonus question. This one's going to be tough. This is about retail, and you'll need to dust off some of your shopping memories. So if you're ready, here we go. The founder of this chain had worked for McCrory's in Jamestown, New York. In 1899, he made his way to Pittsburgh and opened his own store that used his first 2 initials and his last name. What chain was it? And the answer is G.C. Murphy. And you might remember they also operated Murphy's Mart, which was kind of like a discount store. In 1896, George Clinton Murphy worked for McCrory's, a 5 and 10 store in Jamestown, New York. And in 1899, he left and came to Pittsburgh, where he opened his own 5 and 10, known as G.C. Murphy. In 1904, he sold his store to Woolworth's and had to sign a no-compete clause, but he figured out kind of a loophole and opened a new store called G.C. Murphy Company in McKeesport, selling higher-priced items. Murphy died in 1909, and in 1911, former McCrory employees J.S. Mack and W.C. Shaw purchased G.C. Murphy Company. At its peak, the chain had 545 stores. In 1985, it was purchased by Ames, which, like so many other retail conglomerates, bit off more than it could chew. Any remnants of the former G.C. Murphy locations were all gone by about 1997. So while that's a sad bit of trivia, it's part of the rich history that makes up the fabric of the great city of Pittsburgh and our character. And that's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it, nailed some of the answers, and learned some things along the way. Please keep checking back for the latest episode. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
What? You're never gonna believe this. We'll leave that nugget for next time. So if you want more wacky Pittsburgh trivia, be sure to subscribe and we'll invite you back to our next episode. But if you just can't wait, visit our website at pittsburghtriviapodcast.com, where we think Pittsburgh trivia isn't trivial.